Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Knights Broadcasting on YouTube. It's a beautiful afternoon at Knight Stadium in Buena Vista, Virginia, as the NCAA men's lacrosse season is now in full swing. Today's non-conference matchup features the visiting Messiah University Falcons out of the MAC Commonwealth, and of course your Southern Virginia University Knights. My name is Quinn Meyer and I'll be bringing you the action along this afternoon along with our very stellar production crew here at Knights Broadcasting. Knights coming into today with a 1-5 record. Just a couple of games ago, coming off of their first victory on the season. It was a double overtime thriller against Southwestern. Meanwhile, Messiah coming in at 4-2, off to quite the strong start on their season, trying to build off of their 4-4 conference performance last year. That saw them lose in the play-in of the MAC Commonwealth against Widener. As we get the starters read out to you all tuning in back at home, for the Knights, they're going to go with number 5, Tyson Mowry, number 8, Zach Sullivan, number 9, Richie Johnson, 14, Wyatt Garrett, 16, Gabe King, who had the overtime winner against Southwestern just a few nights ago. Also, Pike Lysenby, number 19, Jaden Arnold, number 21, JT Cotrier, and in goal, number 42, Jace Lightfoot. On the other side of things, for the Falcons, we'll have number 0, Mike McNelly in there. Also number 1, David Gross. Number 3, Chad Tereski. Number 13, Bobby Berg. Also number 18, Walker Pinchansky. Number 24, RJ Miller. Number 25, Seth Libby. In goal, number 41, Jordan Algren. And Tristan Lynch also, as both teams get set to head towards the middle of the field for the opening draw. And in terms of history between these two clubs, Messiah won the first and only meeting to date between these two teams. It was 17-10, the final score for Messiah in February of 2019. So no players on either team were, of course, a part of that, I do not believe. So pretty unfamiliar with each other, but first time Messiah will be making the trip down here to Buena Vista for today's matchup on the Knights' home turf. At this point in the season, just 6 games in, the Knights are being led by Gabe King with 19 total goals on the year and 26 points as well. Clay Hackey is in second on the team with 7 goals. And Jaden Arnold's been doing the job in the face-off circle, just a hair over 50% on the year at 70 for 138 on the draws. And that will be Jaden Arnold back into the face-off circle for the Knights. And a quick whistle right off the draw. They're going to call Jaden Arnold for that, and Messiah will keep possession to get things going here. It's number 8, James Myers, and then also number 24, RJ Malore. As Messiah gets a few quick substitutions to get their attack going and set up. Jace Lightfoot, again, as mentioned, in goal for the Knights. He's a freshman on the squad this season, really thrown into the spotlight for Southern Virginia and net between the pipes with the graduation of former goalie Caleb Brody. He was a part of this Knights men's lacrosse program for a number of years. This is Chad Tereski, returning all-conference performer in the MAC Commonwealth. And there's a quick shot from Tereski to put it in to make it 1-0 for Messiah to take the early lead. And Tereski's part of that three-headed monster on the attack that Messiah has going for them. That's his 13th goal on the year. And also Bobby Berg leading them with 16 on the year. Then Mike McNelly at 13. So a lot of guys to spearhead the attack for the Falcons this year. They also only have 2 seniors who have started all 6 games for their squad this year. Means they have a lot of young players filling in nicely. And a lot of underclassmen as well on their roster. This is Clay Hackey. As previously mentioned, 7 goals on the year for him. He's going to spin away from the defender behind the goal. Looking for some room and falling, and then it's going to bounce off the turf and just past the right post. That's going to go out of bounds, and the Knights look to retain possession. They will. They've got a Gabe King, 16 goals in the year. Or 19, correction. This is Peyton Merwin. He's going to spin away from a check and put it back behind the goal. In the hands of Tyson Mowry. One-on-one with the defender. He's going to look over top of the crossbar, then put out in front. There's a goal scored. That was Zach Sullivan right out in front. He's had a solid start to this year, his senior season. And Zach Sullivan gets things knotted up at 1. That's Zach's 7th goal on the season. But a really nice shake and bake and feed from Tyson Mowry in behind the goal. As Jaden Arnold will head back to the face-off circle for Southern Virginia. He's going to pick that one up and win another, his first on the day. And then he'll head off, look at a couple of substitutions in there on the attack for Southern Virginia now. Looking to take an early lead just 2.5 minutes into this one. They'll reset things. Now it's Porter Wells, then up top for Peyton Merwin again. And he'll play catch with Clay Hackey. This is Clay Hackey now. He's going to move back to the inside. Now put on the brakes a bit. A nice pick off there from Messiah. That was number 23, Nate Jalashinsky. And Messiah quickly on the attack, changing fields nice and quick. A shot toward the goal, and he scores. An unsuspecting shot, it looked like, from Jace Lightfoot. And Messiah's going to take the lead just like that, turning really good defense into nice offense that time. Jaden Arnold and it's 22 of Messiah Ben Antel heading back for the draw. Jaden Arnold got the better of it the last time, and he will once again, so that's 2 consecutive face-off wins for Jaden Arnold. And give the Knights another chance, this time to knot things back up at 2. Had a pass intercept on the last outing in the attacking zone, and that turned into a 2-1 lead for Messiah back the other way. This is Davis Grant. He had a couple of important goals down the stretch in the Knights' first and only victory of the season so far against Southwestern just a few nights ago. This is River Jackson, lots of speed down the near side. He's looking for a teammate, he'll get it. That's Tyson Mowry there in the far corner. And now Gabe King pressured by 2 Falcons. Gabe King still with it. He's being pressured by James Myers in behind the goal now for Tyson Mowry. Well, that's Zach Sullivan, my mistake. And he'll Sweep it behind for Clay Hackey. Again, lots of pressure by the defenders. There's a shot and a score for Clay Hackey. Really nice looking shot from about 14 yards out. And Clay Hackey has things knotted up at 2. A much better looking offensive possession that time down for Southern Virginia. Messiah, a very solid team out of the MAC Commonwealth. A lot of successful Northeastern lacrosse programs. As Jaden Arnold, a 3rd consecutive win in the face-off circle. Has had a little bit of a slow start to the season, missed 1 game in the early going this year. But in the past 2 or 3, he's been dialed in the face-off circle. As this is Gabe King pulling up and waiting for Clay Hackey to get set in the attacking zone. King's gonna lose it, and that's picked up by the Falcons that was Grant Peafall. Nice couple of moves to get around Mike Brown. Looking back towards the middle, but then they'll go down low below the goal line with Chad Tereski. Scored the first goal for the Falcons on the day. We'll see a couple of substitutions being made on the go. Nice move back to the inside. There's another goal right over top of the shoulder of Jace Lightfoot. And the Falcons again strike. It's 3-2, scoring on all 3 times in the attacking zone. So we knew Messiah would be a lethal team coming in here to Buena Vista, and Jace Lightfoot certainly knows that he's got his work cut out for him. A few really strong shots by 3 different Falcons to vault them into a 3-2 lead. Jaden Arnold's going to lose the draw this time. There's a check from behind, then a goal right there in front past Jace Lightfoot to make it 4-2. Nice looking face-off win from Grant Peafall after Jaden Arnold had won 3 consecutive face-offs. He's shaking his head there on the Knight logo. And just one quick pass to the far side, just about 6 yards outside Jace Lightfoot. And they put it past him for 2 quick goals, and just like that, they're in the lead 4-2. That time Jaden's going to be upended, and a foul will be called on the Falcons. That was the fall again. Jaden Arnold's going to come out for Clay Hackey to go in, as well as JT Catrier. See Porter Wells jogging out there also. And also Peyton Merwin coming in as Mike Brown steps off. Merwin's going to cut back to the middle. Nice looking pass, but it's a little high for Porter Wells. And that'll be Algren of the Falcons in goal to pick up the loose change. He'll get it back and look forward for Tristan Lynch, 99. This is Mike McNally, one of those 3 leading scorers this year for the Falcons. A nice pass looking for, that was Chad Tereski, but it was a little low and bounced past his stick and out of bounds. And Southern Virginia will grab possession with Peyton Merwin. And look for Gabe King, and now Porter Wells looks to go in as Merwin comes off. Knights once again this season along with Coach Jason Lamb once again for another season. This is Davis Grant a little low, but Porter Wells doesn't have any trouble with that one. Score still 4-2, about 7.5 minutes in. And that'll be a call made. I think that was Davis Grant they're going to get, and the Falcons will grab control of this one. There's a whack, pretty big whack given by Tyson Mowry. Some of the Falcons fans in attendance screaming for a call. They won't get it. And now Messiah looks to set up their offense. This is Chad Tereski once again in behind the goal. He's going to try and spin away from Davis Grant and use that shoulder. There's an open shot right on top of the 20-yard line. That's going to get past Jace Lightfoot for another goal. That was Mike McNelly. A couple of really nice looking snipes from him here in the early going, and it's 5-2 Messiah. Jaden Arnold again back into the face-off circle. He's going to send it back, looking for, that was Gannon Lyles, who's still with it. He's being pressured by 3 Falcons. They're going to lose it. And then picked up by Chad Tereski. Lyles looked to see if he can find some space going backwards, but couldn't. And 3 Falcons converged on him quickly and caused a turnover. Again, lots of players on this Messiah team returning from last year and who will also return again next year. There's a cut back towards the middle. Then there's a shot and a score. What a shot. Mike McNelly again from a pretty tough angle as the Knights defender fell down, but he's able to get it past McNelly and make it 6-2. So 3 quick goals from Mike McNelly to vault the Falcons into a commanding lead. This time it's as Boston Schillman on the face-off attempt for Southern Virginia. He loses that one. And this is Messiah in control again with number 15, Will Earhart. And this looks to be Michael Cook at the moment in control. He's going to try and spin away from JT Cotrier. Now Tereski, then McNelly. Looking in behind the goal, below the goal line now, lots of room. And Bobby Berg, he's the leading scorer coming in. A nice tricky pass. Back shoulder pass there. Now it's in behind the goal. Now coming back out in front. There's Chad Tereski once again to put it past Lightfoot. 7-2 the count now for Messiah. So the Knights unable to come up with a defensive stop so far. That's 7 possessions for Messiah and 7 goals for them as Southern Virginia will take a timeout now. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. But to my point before, this is a Messiah team that is relatively young but still very experienced. A very strong freshman class last year. Returned a lot of guys in the starting lineup for their sophomore season and thrown a couple of experienced seniors into the starting mix. And also juniors like Chad Tereski, who was the goal scorer on that 7th one. They're a very deep team and poised for a strong showing in the MAC Commonwealth after bowing out in the play-in against Widener last year. Meanwhile, Southern Virginia, coming off of 2 consecutive seasons where they appeared in the final of the USA South tournament. That first year in the spring of 2022, they came out victorious to win their first ever conference championship in the USA South. And then last year fell up short to Pfeiffer, while also beating Piedmont in the process in the semifinal. Of course, Pfeiffer and Piedmont, the 1 and 2 ranked teams in the preseason poll of the USA South. Knights coming in at number 3 in the preseason poll. And the Knights will start their conference schedule. In their next game, it'll be a home match against Piedmont. And make sure you also tune in for that one, as that'll be a very spirited battle. And also another reminder, we do have a women's lacrosse matchup today, and that'll be at 7 o'clock. Just about an hour and a half after the conclusion of this one. So that's Jaden Arnold going out back for the face-off again. He's going to go backwards and miss his teammate and go back. Jace Lightfoot is going after it, but he pulls up, and that'll be a turnover. So Jaden Arnold clearly wins his 4th face-off of the day, but he turns it over, and Falcons back on the attack. Not sure who the defender was. He was throwing that one too, as obviously it was not expected. But anyways, Falcons on the attack again. This is number 2, Ben Farrell. Then Chad Tereski and Mike McNally. They've been the danger men so far for the Falcons on the attack. This is Farrell. He's going to look behind the net, and Tereski tries to save it, but that'll go out of bounds, and the first turnover on the afternoon for the Falcons. It's Clay Hackey coming all the way back to grab it from his teammate, and he's being forced out. That will be a turnover. The Falcons will take over, as Clay Hackey didn't have any friends in the area, but 2 Falcons converged on him and forced him out of bounds just in front of the Messiah bench. So you can see head coach Jason Lamb giving some instruction to Clay Hackey after that. And now Messiah on the attack. Good defense there from Ben Sliga. Nice. Messiah will reset with Seth Libby. Going one-on-one and put it just off the post, it looked like, or off of Lightfoot. But good positioning there, and that'll force the Knights the other direction on the attack now. We'll take a shot towards the goal and score. That's Lysenby, the freshman out of American Fork, Utah, who brought it past midfield for the clearance and then puts it past Algren to cut into the lead, now 7-3. The Knights doing a decent job offensively so far, with the exception of 1 or 2 turnovers, as the ball is loose there in the circle still. That's JT Couture kicking at it. And now finally picked up. That was Wyatt Garrett. But he's going to send it past Gabe Kinnan out of bounds, and another turnover for the Knights that was unforced. So a couple of those in the last few minutes has opened the door again for the Falcons to extend their lead back to 5. Says Michael Cook. In behind Chad Tereski, and now Bobby Berg. Bobby Berg came in today with 16 goals in the season. Looking to add one to his name today for the first time. There was a feed looking for McNally, and McNally tapping his chest saying that was his bad, but that'll be a turnover. And Knights will retake control. Here is Zach Sullivan, had the first goal on the day for the Knights. He's going to opt back for Clay Hackey now. As you see, JT Couture running off, and Porter Wells will come on for the Knights. There's a good-looking save there from Algren, flashing that right leg. And it bounces about 20 yards out to the far sideline where the Falcons will take control. And they'll send it back over the near side here. This is number 18, Walker Pinchansky. Falcons facing a good amount of pressure in their own zone. There's an outlet pass and a good receive there, but tripped up on the play. That was Nate Liu, it looked like. Might have been Gannon Lyles who was in pursuit. Couldn't quite tell who fell on top of him, but the Falcons, of course, retain control. But a good couple of defensive stances by Southern Virginia recently to prevent that gap from getting any larger. They did trail 7-2 before the Knights struck back and put it down to a 4-point game. This is Tereski again at the top. Looking inside, and there's a shot. Good save made by Lightfoot. That's 2 consecutive big saves as there's Wyatt Garrett going after a loose ball. Falcons able to pounce on it again. This is Berg. There's a pass inside. They'll go back up top for McNally, and he's going to go off the post. Falcons again knocking on the door, looking for their 8th. Just now a minute remaining in the first quarter. Another feed inside, and there's a score again that time from number 28, Michael Cook. It's pretty solid defense from the Knights, but he's able to sneak down low and get inside. And put one again past Lightfoot, who made a couple of big saves, and then of course that post from McNally. As Jaden Arnold heads back for the face-off along with Ben Antel. Antel's a sophomore from Rockford, Michigan. Again, a very sophomore-heavy group for Messiah. As Jaden Arnold's going to get past midfield now and win another draw, so he's over 50% today, I believe. Though a couple of those wins turned into quick turnovers that Messiah was able to convert on, and there's really good defense on Tyson Mowry. He's just going to toss his stick up in the air. As the Knights get a couple of their attackers back on. Clay Hackey and Porter Wells walking onto the field. 25 seconds to go, so shot clock won't matter here. 8-3 the score in favor of Messiah. This is Gabe King still looking for his first on the day. Now Clay Hackey fakes a shot and they'll go back up top now for Gabe King. Some good movement here from Southern Virginia, but no openings inside, but there's a loose ball. And Messiah's going to look to pick it up. Gabe King cuts off one of the defenders and grabs it back 1 second now, and that'll do it for the end of the first quarter of play here. Messiah leads it 8-3. There was a whistle before the clock went, I believe. Wait to see what the word on that was, but both teams will go to their benches for the end of the first quarter. So Knights able to hang tough for a few minutes there at the beginning when they knotted things at 2 pretty early on, but A streak of 5 consecutive goals for Messiah vaulted them to a 7-2 lead before the Knights struck back to make it 7-3, but Falcons able to get the final goal of that frame to make it 8-3, and that is where we stand heading into the second quarter of play. And Southern Virginia Athletics does want to take the time now to thank and show appreciation for the following sponsors, those being Cornerstone Bank, Straws, Drinks, and Eats, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's, and Katana and Hibachi and Sushi Express. Of course, Straws, Drinks, and Eats hosts plenty of nice activities each Friday at 7 p.m. And as well as Grace Automotive, they do offer a 10% discount to students and faculty at Southern Virginia for all your vehicle maintenance needs. So both teams will head out for the start of the second quarter. And if you're tuning in online on YouTube with us in a Knights broadcast, you can also tune into the live stats from Knights Athletics. To also get a play-by-play commentary online as well on the screen. In addition to being here on YouTube, Knights will start out with it. This is Porter Wells, and there's a quick shot, and that's going to bang off the post, it looked like, and all the way back past midfield. Jace Lightfoot's going to have to run back into his goal, but the Knights fortunately do pick it up again, and back on the attack they go. There's a tough handle for Tyson Mowry, but he does grab it. And they'll get things going again with Gabe King and Clay Hackey. He'll go back to the middle. There's a good-looking save by Algren. Again, he's just a freshman. Some great depth in goal for the Falcons this year, as they're going to get past midfield and into safety. This is Mike McNally again. He's going to reset things for his teammate Seth Libby. They're at the top now being pressured. Ben Farrell going towards the goal and right between the legs of Jace Lightfoot. Looked as if Lightfoot was losing his balance once Ben Farrell released it, and that'll put the Falcons into a 9-3 lead to open up the scoring in the second frame. Attackers of Messiah so far putting on a shooting clinic right now. Great accuracy and power in their shots. And they've been giving Jace Lightfoot, the freshman goalie for the Knights, a pretty tough day between the pipes so far. As that time Jaden Arnold's gonna lose the face-off. He's gonna hobble back towards the sideline. He might have gotten stepped on there by one of the Falcon players. But the Falcons lost it. Now the Knights in control with JT Catrier. They'll move it ahead for Wyatt Garrett. Absorbs a slash from David Gross. And then he'll lose it and back the other way the Falcons go, but Tereski's going to miss an open opportunity. Couldn't handle that pass. Got a nice feed from Bobby Berg on that 2-on-1. But the tough reception prevents a pretty high scoring opportunity there for Tereski. This is Seth Libby making a run towards the goal, but converged on by 3 Southern Virginia defenders. That was Wyatt Garrett taking a whack at it, then gets a shove from Seth Libby. But Jace Lightfoot able to recover it, and back the other way goes Southern Virginia. This is Mike Brown. Trying to spin away from Malore, but finally sends it back over for JT Cotrier. And him, along with Mike Brown, will look to get off so Southern Virginia can get Clay Hackey and Porter Wells back on. Gabe King going towards the goal, and a nice looking save once again. Might have been actually blocked there, as Messiah has it on the far side now, just crossing midfield. There's a check given by Richie Johnson, senior defender from Hershey, Pennsylvania. As Messiah will make a couple of switches and get their attack set. This is Chad Tereski in control on the near right corner. He's being shadowed by, I believe that's Preston Billings. He'll send it back toward the other side and then send it out in front. There's a goal scored from Will Earhart. Some pretty slick passing. It started with Tereski switching places with a teammate, then they send it right out in front of the goal and put it past Lightfoot to make it 10-3 in favor of Messiah. Pretty formidable offensive display so far from Messiah, as there's another face-off won by the Falcons. Again, that was Ben Antel, as Jaden Arnold sat that face-off out. It looked like he might have gotten stepped on by either a teammate or one of the Falcons on that last draw. But now it's Michael Cook in control. Does have a goal to his name today. He's being watched by Shellman. In behind the goal, still looking to get a screen from Tereski. It's Cook still. There's a feed across off the crossbar, then bounces back off the turf. Messiah still in control. That was Will Earhart grabbing that rebound, the most recent goal scorer. Now Tereski looking back out front. Now it's Earhart again. Look back up top for Michael Cook. And there's a cut back to the middle now to the outside. Now behind for Chad Tereski. Fakes a shot, then it's going to bounce off the turf. Michael Cook now grabs control. Now it's McNally, dangerous scorer. Has 3 already to his name today. There's a shot bouncing off the turf right in front of Lightfoot. Wasn't sure where it went, but it bounced over top of the goal. And again, here's Berg. Good save by Lightfoot that time. I think the Falcons are going to receive a fresh shot clock after that save from Lightfoot. As officials point to the clock, and I believe there's a timeout now called from Southern Virginia as they look to get set defensively again. So good pressure once again by Messiah, but some good goalkeeping from Jace Lightfoot to keep this game within reach. And once again, you're watching this on Knights Broadcasting on YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know how we can improve your viewing experience. And also you can join in on the live stats from Knights Athletics to be kept up to speed on team stats and individual stats in the game summary. Right now, again, it's McNally leading the way in goal scoring for the Falcons with 4. He had 3 pretty quickly there in the first quarter and has added 1 more to his name since then. Obviously, Chad Tereski has scored a couple of nice goals, but has been a pretty nice facilitator down there below the goal line. But shots right now in favor of Messiah, 16-8. Well, both teams have failed to score on their single man advantage opportunity. But face-offs is one thing that Southern Virginia is in control of, largely due to the performance of Jaden Arnold so far. Him along with a couple others, they are 9 for 14 on face-offs today. As here's the Falcons back in control. There's Seth Libby out there as well as RJ Malore, both seniors. He's going to get upended, but it looked to be certainly unintentional inadvertent contact. As one of the Knight defenders protests it, but either way, the Falcons will retain control. Malore making a defender fall right down the middle, off the post once again. That was Bobby Berg, still looking for his first on the afternoon. Now it's McNally back with it. And as many goals as Messiah has scored so far, they've hit several posts. Also a couple of crossbars thrown in there. Here's a move back towards the goal, converged on by 3 Knights. That was Ben Sluga going after it, but he's going to lose it and drop his stick, so he has to go back and recover that. But again, in behind the goal, this is Chad Tereski. He's going to turn away from JT Catrier. And he'll direct traffic there in front of the goal and make a move back towards the middle. Over the top of Catrier. Catrier face up on him. As Tereski tries to put it back towards the middle, then Southern Virginia tries to kick it out. There's a shot. Good save made by Lightfoot. And that'll get Messiah another reset on the shot clock. Now back in behind the goal, going out in front. There's a score there from the Falcons. I think that was Bobby Berg who's going to get his first on the afternoon. The leading goal scorer for the Falcons has struck to make it an 11-3 Falcons advantage. So a couple of minutes where Messiah had possession and hit a couple of posts, and then some good goalkeeping from Jace Lightfoot, but that did not prevent them from getting number 11. As Jaden Arnold lost a rear face-off after coming back from maybe a stinger or getting stepped on by a player on his previous face-off attempt. There's another shot as Bobby Berg was left all alone, tried to go low. That's going to bounce past the left post and out of bounds. But Tereski back there for the Falcons, they retain control. This is Michael Cook, showed lots of speed and shiftiness early on there in the first quarter, has a goal to his name also. There's a shot by Berg, another save by Lightfoot, may have gone off the post. The official does signal for a reset in the clock. So the Falcons doing a pretty good job of getting back to those rebounds. and prevent the Knights defenders from making any sort of advance out of the zone. This is Cook again. Going to spin away from the defender, then will bounce back off the turf, looking for McNelly. Wyatt Garrett in pursuit of him. Takes a couple of whacks. Now it's back to Tereski. Tereski shooting, bouncing back off the post again. Wyatt Garrett almost got to the rebound, but again the Falcons recover and are back in control with a fresh 60. This is Will Earhart now and behind the goal. It's going to bounce off. It looked like a Southern Virginia stick and out of bounds, as Bobby Berg, you can see there on the far side, will pick it up for the Falcons and send it back below the goal line now. Chad Tereski, 2 goals to his name today. There's a shot over top of the crossbar. That was Mike McNelly looking for his 5th on the afternoon. He blazes that one just above Jace Lightfoot. But once again, the Falcons back in control. Just 12 now on the shot clock. This is Chad Tereski. Now under 10. Looking for McNelly. Now Berg. He'll cut back towards the middle, go in on Lightfoot, and he scores! A back-breaking goal from Messiah, as Southern Virginia had Messiah down to the last 5 or 6 seconds on the shot clock. But Berg puts his 2nd consecutive goal in there to make it a 12-3 advantage for the Falcons. Messiah attack is just really eating up the time here in the 2nd quarter. Spent a lot of time on the end of Jace Lightfoot as Jaden Arnold wins this face-off. He's looking for some friends. He's getting whacked at by Lynch. Still with it. He is across midfield, but now he gets checked back onto the other side. He's going to somehow spin and send it off a defender and back towards his teammate. That's number 36 for the Knights now, Preston Billings. But then it's launched back towards the other side of the field, and the Falcons will take control. So, again, that's 3 or 4 times now where Jaden Arnold manages to win a face-off, but then is forced backwards by a couple of Falcons attackers, as there's good defense there from JT Catrier. Now picking it up for the Falcons, that was Ben Farrell. And back on the attack goes Messiah. There's a shot towards Jace Lightfoot. Good save. Covering that space between the legs. On that shot, I believe that was number 6, Chris Esslinger. And another turnover made. That was number 17, Lysenby, the freshman, sending it back towards the sideline. You can see Jason Lamb did not want that to happen and was making that known to him afterwards. So that's 2 consecutive opportunities for the Knights to make a clearance and be on the attack. But good pressure from the Falcons forces yet another turnover, and they're back on the attack now with Ben Farrell. This is Ben Farrell going towards the goal, and it's going to go off the side of the net before Jace Lightfoot will pick this one back and finally has a little bit of room to himself. And hopefully the Knights now with Mike Brown can advance this and go back on the attack. This is Clay Hackey. He's going to weave his way through a couple of defenders and switch fields for now JT Catrier. This is Porter Wells now. He's a big part of this attack from the Knights, but we haven't mentioned his name too often. And in large part, that's due to quality defense from the Falcons. This is Peyton Merwin now, looking to get on the board for the first time today. Back in behind the goal for Zach Sullivan. Lots of speed. He does have a goal on the day. Now it's Gabe King. He'll fire it to the right of the post. The left post, that is, and out of bounds. But Tyson Mowry is there to pick things back up for the Knights. Just 20 remaining on the shot clock. Mowry's going to lose it. He's going to try and scoop it past the defender and avoid the out-of-bounds call. Porter Wells now is able to pick it up. Just 8 seconds remaining on the clock. But a good defensive play there, looking for Gabe King up high before it's kicked out of bounds. That was number 18 of Messiah. Walker Pinchansky not able to pick it up. But still 2 seconds. Now Gabe King is going to whiff on it and send it back towards, might be White Garrett, but a turnover again for Southern Virginia. This is McNelly. R.J. Malore there on the far side. They're going to get Ben Farrell back into the mix for the Falcons on the attack once again. Just 1:10 remaining in the first half of play. Tereski will look back up top for Malore. Got Michael Cook and Mike McNelly right up top there, being shadowed by Preston Billings. So there's certainly two guys you want to watch out for. McNelly with 4 goals on the day so far. Michael Cook with just 1, but he's looked dangerous. This is R.J. Malore now. He's being watched by Peyton Merwin, now flipping sides of the field back towards the middle. Looking for some space, and they're going to send it past the left post of Lightfoot and out of bounds. Once again, Chad Tereski's there. He's going to speed his way back to the middle, and again, past that left post. A couple of flags are thrown by officials on both sides of the field. And we'll wait to hear the word on that. And it's just 18 seconds remain on the game clock for this first half. So shot clock is turned off for the last 18 seconds or so for this half. 12-3 the advantage for the Falcons. Southern Virginia has had several opportunities to fire back, but a few unforced errors and turnovers in their offensive end has allowed the Falcons to turn things back the other way, and they'll just let the clock run out here for the end of the first half. Falcons leading your Knights 12-3. And we'll take a short 10-minute break before the second half of action. Be sure to stay with us here on Knights Broadcasting, and we will be back soon.
Makeda. I think they're going to the office. The visiting team.
And we welcome everyone back to the second half of play in today's men's lacrosse matchup, featuring, again, the visiting Messiah University Falcons and, of course, your Southern Virginia Knights. It's Messiah in control to start the second half of play. This is Tereski up top. Good ball movement there from the Falcons. Now back into the middle. Looking for R.J. Mallour. They'll get it to him and back to McNelly. This is Bobby Berg. Had a couple of quick goals to close out that first half. There's towards the goal. Contact made with Jace Lightfoot, as it looked as if maybe Gannon Lyles gave a little bit of a shove of Bobby Berg back into Jace Lightfoot, who is correcting the goal. Goal posts back along the goal line. And both teams will go ahead and make some changes. And we do want to correct myself, as number 2 for Messiah is Owen Hamill. A little bit of confusion on the roster sheets here, so my apologies to Owen and his family and those tuning in. The Knights, after looking pretty solid in the early going offensively in that first quarter with 3 goals, unable to get any momentum on the attack in that second quarter, as Messiah had majority of the possession in the end towards Jace Lightfoot. As here come the Knights, looking for a quick response to start the second half as they trail 12-3. This is Porter Wells now in control, and we'll put that back for Gabe King. A little bit of a rotation going here. Porter Wells looking across, but a good defensive play there made by David Gross, but he's unable to grab it after he deflected it off the Gabe King pass. There's a shot towards the goal, and it's just wide of the right post. But the Knights will get there first to retain control. This is Zach Sullivan in behind the goal. Now back up top they go for Porter Wells. He's going to switch places and look to get it back, but he wasn't expecting the pass. And that's Walker Penchansky just shielding 2 Knight attackers from the ball. But now Porter Wells again converging on it, still up for grabs. Before the Knights are back in control. This is Clay Hack again. Now Gabe King. He's going to shoot that wide of the left post. Not able to get back there in time with Tyson Mowry. So Walker Penchansky picks this one up, and back in control of their Falcons, back towards the middle of the field for R.J. Mallour. Just a minute 40 gone in the third frame. No goal scored yet in this half. And there's a check there in the middle of the field made by Wyatt Garrett, as the ball did get past one of the Messiah attackers. Lots of contact made there just below the logo. And we might be having an injury timeout, as that was Chad Tereski, who was upended by Wyatt Garrett. Head athletic trainer Chad Mahaffey coming off and And trying to take a look at Tereski. He'll be subbed out in favor of Michael Cook as they go to take a look at him. But it was a turnover by Messiah for the Knights, back in control, as they failed to score in their last several attempts in the attacking zone. This is Gabe King now, looking to get a quick shot, but it'll be a fake, but then stolen by the Falcons. Good defense by Walker Penchansky. He's being pressured again by Zach Sullivan. Penchansky was looking for McNeil, but he's going to let that one go out of bounds after he was able to receive that pass from Penchansky, and back the other way comes Southern Virginia. See Jacob Zellinger coming off for the Knights. As Clay Hackey is in control, they're going to get their attackers on. Hackey up towards midfield. Now a burst of speed to free up some space. He's going to towards the goal and score. Clay Hackey. Just the start the Knights needed for this second half, and they cut into that 9-goal deficit rather. It's 12-4 now. Nice solo effort from Clay Hackey. And that's one thing the Knights were not able to do at all in that second quarter, was counter off of any Messiah turnovers. That time, McNally not able to handle the pass behind Lightfoot, and quickly turns into a Clay Hackey goal. This is Tristan Lynch going after it. He's having trouble as he was pressured by JT Katrier, but that's going to go out of bounds last off of the Falcons. Or rather, they are motioning to go the other direction, as Porter Wells presumed it was him, but it wasn't, and the Falcons will take control. Here on the near side, right in front of Coach Jason Lamb, is RJ Malore. Lots of space going towards midfield and crossing that line. He's getting hacked at by Mike Brown. It's going to roll out of bounds and in the possession now of the Knights. So another good defensive stance there, not allowing RJ Malore to get more than a few yards past midfield, and the Knights a chance to counter again. This is Peyton Merwin now, being shadowed by Seth Libby. Now Clay Hackey, the most recent goal scorer. He's going to use a screen by Gannon Lyles, then put it back behind for Tyson Mowry. He'll look to save it from going out of bounds, and he will. See River Jackson coming on for the Knights on the attack. This is Gabe King still. Now Peyton Merwin. Reset for Hackey. Good save made by Algren. And a pass looking to stretch the field. A good steal made by Mike Brown. He's been doing the job at the line there. 2 consecutive turnovers from Messiah, and the Knights back on the attack. And correction, I believe that's Brock Rowe in goal now between the pipes for Messiah. Made a nice save on that Clay Hackey try just about 30 seconds ago, but now it's Tyson Mowry. Dominant possession time as there's a sidestep by Mowry. He's going to get a shot in the back now, go towards the goal and air it over the top of the crossbar. But Gabe King is in the vicinity as the Knights retain possession. Jay Loshinsky coming in for Messiah, making a couple of switches there, as well as Tristan Lynch in there. This is Gabe King back up top now for Porter Wells. Back down towards the goal line. Nice pass out in front. There's a score. Porter Wells, a beauty of a feed from Tyson Mowry. He hits Porter right in the wheelhouse, and just like that, 2 goals from the Knights as they trail just 12-5 now, just over 5 minutes into the third quarter. Now Jaden Arnold back to the face-off for the Knights. Facing off against Ben Antel, I believe, who has had some success, as you can see there, after a hot start from Jaden Arnold, as they'll both go off now. Says Mike McNelly. He's going to hold off and allow his mates to take it off and make the proper changes for their attack before they get set. You can see Owen Hamill coming on, as well as RJ Malore, who has it up top now, just below the Knights logo. He'll play a little catch with Owen Hamill. Now there's a move to the outside on Ben Sluga. Looking for the quick counter there with Berg, but that's going to be loose and picked up there by the Knights. This is Gannon Lyles now in full stride, crossing midfield, able to get away from Mike McNelly. So another good defensive stance for the Knights. That's 3 consecutive times they've been able to halt the attack of the Falcons, and back the other way they go. Gabe King directing traffic. He'll get a bit of a screen and go towards the goal. Good save made by Brock Rowe. Might have been a stinger off of his hands. Now another defender of the Falcons upended as they try to make their way past midfield, and will. Well, as Mike Brown taking another whack at, I think that was number 25 of the Falcons, Seth Libby, trying to carry that one across midfield, and Mike Brown actually lost his helmet in the process going down. Possession in control of Southern Virginia now. That's Wyatt Garrett going to pick it up. So slowly but surely, a little bit of momentum going in the direction of the Knights. Wyatt Garrett's going to be sandwiched by Berg. A flag is called. Or a flag is thrown. You can see there now Peyton Merwin, a nifty capture, able to get around a couple of defenders. Tyson Mallory wants to settle things down, and he'll drop it off for Porter Wells now. Clay Hackey across for Mallory again. Being guarded by Jed Davis. He's going to trot his way below the goal line now and just allow his teammates to get set as Davis Grant now comes on with speed. They're going to look for him there. And opt back up top for Gabe King now. Back behind, there's a nice cut by Mowry. Looking for space, doesn't see it, so he opts back outside for Merwin now. Merwin, a good move to go around. He's going to bounce it off the turf up high, and Brock Rowe able to easily recover that one. Whistle was blown. There might have been a call. I think it was called against the Falcons. Yeah, it was Jed Davis on that rush made by Peyton Merwin. Porter Wells and Clay Hackey. That triangle with Gabe King. Nice feed to Clay Hackey. He's going to shoot it. Good save made by Brock Rowe. As that was not the play that head coach Jason Lamb drew up or wanted from that Clay Hackey attempt. There's Brock Rowe going to soar this one, looking for Chad Tereski, but it's going to go past him. And another quick turnover by Messiah. So a little undisciplined here in the early going of the second half. As Chad Tereski's going to go after, I believe that was Mike Lysenby of the Knights for White. Garrett carries it across midfield, and back on the attack go Southern Virginia with Davis Grant. Below the goal line now for Tyson Mowry. And Gabe King looking for Merwin. Good defense there from the Falcons. That's Nate J. Losinski. No quarter given from him. And it forced the Knights to go back outside. Now Mowry looking inside across the goal. Good defense again there to converge that time on River Jackson. Porter Wells lasers that one just outside of the right post. Tyson Mowry will grab another ball, and here we go again with Southern Virginia still on the attack. Looking for a wraparound that time from Wells, and Brock Rowe's going to get there in time as he's going to get upended by both River Jackson and I believe Porter Wells. A flag was thrown as Messiah was looking to advance past midfield but threw it out of bounds yet again. But I think they are going to get River Jackson on that one, as Messiah will stay in control of this one. So third quarter seems to be mirroring the second quarter, but on the flip this time, as Southern Virginia has been on the attack for perhaps 80 or 85% of the third quarter. Whereas, of course, the Falcons really dominated the second quarter of play, allowing no offensive zone time for the Knights. But here's Messiah, a chance to counter and earn their first goal of the second half. Down below for Owen Hamill. Around the ring they go, back below the goal line, Owen Hamill. Mike McNally looked towards the middle for a second, but is back up top with Dureski. Now towards the middle, RJ Malloy. Nice ball movement, but a tough reception there for Michael Cook. Allows JT Cotrier to converge on him and disrupt that pass. Up top, Dureski. All-conference performer last year in the MAC Commonwealth. Good defense that time from Mike Brown. He's looking for it, upended by Owen Hamill, and he will get whistled. And back the other way, possession goes for the Knights. So Mike Brown, he's been a big part of these few defensive stances for Southern Virginia and has forced a few turnovers to allow the Knights to get back in this with just 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Looking towards the goal is Clay Hackey, going to bounce it over top of the crossbar. As head coach Jason Lamb can't believe that one didn't find the back of the net. And it seemed he was a bit unaware that Brock Rowe had left the goal, but back the other way come the Falcons. This is McNally. Looking down low for Tereski. He'll survey and try to find his way around Mike Brown. But Brock Rowe did make the save on that Clay Hackey try when Rowe was trying to find his way back into the net. It looked as if, though, it was going to bounce over the crossbar anyways, but a very good opportunity to cut within 6 is foiled by Brock Rowe. As here's RJ Malloy back in the attacking zone behind the net for the Falcons. Nice move back towards the middle. There's McNally. He scores! Mike McNally, a nice pass right in the wheelhouse. That was from RJ Malloy. And just like that, Falcons able to pounce on that missed opportunity from Clay Hackey and vault themselves back into an 8-goal lead. Back into the circle goes Jaden Arnold. as well as Ben Antel. Antel had the better of Arnold in that last outing, but this time Arnold able to sweep it over to Wyatt Garrett, who's being pursued by Tristan Lynch. Garrett now on that far sideline. He's going to find some room towards Brock Rowe, and it's going to bounce off the post maybe after bouncing off the stick of Brock Rowe. Falcons now in control. As Garrett almost seized an opportunity, now Brock Rowe trying to escape the pressure of River Jackson. Falcons trying to regain their rhythm. Really explosive first quarter that saw them net 8 goals. A pretty steady second quarter to extend their lead to 12-3, but have only been able to respond in this third quarter with 1 goal of them for themselves compared to the Knights' 2. This is Michael Cook looking towards the middle. He's going to send it over top of Will Earhart. And now it's Bobby Berg. Chad Tresky getting a screen. Looked like he had McNelly streaking right down the middle, but opts to keep it himself now. Being pressured by Lyles. Nice pass to Berg. He scores! Nice feed by Tereske across the field, finding Bobby Berg, who picks up a hat trick. And he puts it past Lightfoot to extend the Falcons' lead to 14-5. Boston Shilman back for the face-off for Southern Virginia. He's going to go against Antel again. This time he has the chance to win it, but he didn't see where it went, and the Falcons pick it back up. On the attack they go, right down the middle towards Lightfoot. A good save made by Jace Lightfoot that time. A big answer to prevent his team from going down 10. Knights trying to advance it, looking for Lightfoot, but Tereski's in the area, upended by Clay Hackey. I don't think anything was called there as Tereski's able to get back to his feet and Lightfoot back in goal for the Knights. Shot towards the middle, and upended again. That time was Jed Davis. Lightfoot was able to pick it up, but I believe a call was made. Perhaps that was J.T. Catrier of Southern Virginia in the vicinity when that contact was made. Owen Hanwell sends it back for R.J. Malore, and now Seth Libby. He'll switch places with Malore. Shot towards the goal, and he scores. R.J. Malore, a snipe from the right side past Jace Lightfoot, and they do extend it to 10 now with just 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So things are seeming to sway in the direction now of Messiah as they now are outscoring the Knights in this third quarter 3-2. And it all started after Clay Hackey missed that open net opportunity after a Falcons turnover. Brock Rowe, of course, was able to get back in time and prevent the Knights from shrinking that lead down to 12-6. And since then, the Falcons have responded with 3 consecutive goals as there's Jaden Arnold back for the face-off, but loses this one again to Antel. Brock Rowe setting up his defender. Now on the far side, able to get past midfield and avoid Tyson Mowry. Looking up top now for Seth Libby. He's being watched by Ben Sluga. R.J. Malore has gone to direct traffic, and Leave it off for Owen Hamill. He's going to size up Billings and go back towards the middle and switches field for Seth Libby, and he scores again. Seth Libby, a nice feed from Owen Hamill. And the lead now 16-5, a buzzer beater for Libby with just 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So that face-off advantage that the Knights had at the half has began to shrunk, and they have started to turn into goals for Messiah. As Arnold will face up with Van Antel once again. Antel has got the better of Southern Virginia in their circle the past 3 tries, but that time Jaden Arnold able to grab it. And knowing there's just 4 seconds left, just sends it the length of the field past Brock Rowe, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. Falcons leading 16-5, though a very good first half of that third quarter as the Knights really dominated possession. Some stellar defense to cause a few turnovers of the Falcons, but still do find themselves down by double figures. And before we get back to the fourth quarter of play, the Knights Athletic Department wants to thank all of our athletic sponsors and express our appreciation. The sponsors being Cornerstone Bank, Straws, Drinks and Eats, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's, and Katana Hibachi and Sushi Express. And of course, Grace Automotive also offers 10% discounts for all students and staff and their vehicle and maintenance needs, all those students and staff being, of course, from Southern Virginia. But we thank those sponsors so much for their continued support and encourage all those tuning in or rewatching this again to go out and support all of our local businesses here in Buena Vista as well as close by in Lexington. So both teams head out for the fourth quarter of play, last 15 minutes in this one. But again, the Knights were beginning to mount some sort of a comeback with a lot of possession time and 2 consecutive goals to start the third quarter. That cut the lead of Messiah to 7 at 12-5, and Clay Hackey had an open net opportunity from the near side. Could have cut the lead to 6, but Brock Rowe able to recover in time, and from that point, the Falcons were able to score 4 consecutive goals and outscore the Knights in that frame 4-2. So Jaden Arnold and Ben Intel back into the circle for the face-off. Jaden Arnold won that last one, though there were just 4 seconds left. See JT Cotrier on the near side here for Southern Virginia. Looking to pounce on this one, but Ben Antel a pretty clean win. He's going to send it back to the near side for Tristan Lynch, who gathers across midfield. Looks like JT Cotrier wanted an elbow extended there on Tristan Lynch. And he is going to get it, so Knights are in control right now. A bit of a dangerous pass across the field, but it does get there in time. Stretch shot, and there's a goal for JT Cotrier from the other side of midfield. As the Knights are able to take advantage that time of Brock Rowe being out of the net, much that a lot of what he did in the third quarter as well. Knights weren't able to take advantage then, but do this time and are on the board first for the second consecutive frame. Looks like there's a false start there, or an infraction from Ben Antel. A couple of spin moves there made by Ben Sluga of Southern Virginia. He'll leave it for Zach Sullivan before he goes off. Got Zach Sullivan out there. Jaden Arnold now going off for Clay Hackey and Porter Wells. Then, of course, Bing King and Tyson Mowry. He's going to spin around a defender, then upended. There's a flag thrown. Still with it now, goes towards the goal. Good save made by Brock Rowe. The Knights will keep possession on this one, as Tyson Mowry was upended, making that cut back towards the middle. Looks like Bradley Simon's going off. At the top we go for Porter Wells. So another opportunity for the Knights to have consecutive goals in this fourth quarter, just as they did in the third. And there's a tough reception there. Now Davis Grant going after it, picked up by Gabe King. Now open shot, there's Clay Hackey, he scores! Clay Hackey scores on the man advantage and cuts back into that lead. Just down by 9 now with Southern Virginia, 16-7 the score. That's the second goal on the afternoon with the extra man for Southern Virginia. Could have turned out poorly after Gabe King wasn't able to handle a pass as it bounced on him. But some pressure by Davis Grant allowed him to gather it and find an open Clay Hackey here on the near side. And he sniped that one past Brock Rowe. Jaden Arnold and Ben Antel going after it. Able to scoop it and bounce it off the turf. Now picked up by Sluga of Southern Virginia. Now Mike Brown tries to spin away from Michael Cook. Nifty little back shoulder pass to goalie Jace Lightfoot, and Southern Virginia tries to escape harm. Wells looking for some space. He sees it now. Good feed to Zach Sullivan just over top of the crossbar. Tyson Mowry was there, so they'll, or may have deflected off him actually. So the Falcons will go collect it. And now it is in control of Jed Davis, feeding it ahead. Now they're on the far side. Bobby Berg sends it back for Will Earhart. Just around 2:20 off the clock here in the fourth quarter. Knights trailing Messiah 16-7. Messiah still looking for their first tally in the final frame. Had a slow start to the third quarter as well, but able to battle back with 4 consecutive goals to close out the third. This is Owen Hamill going towards the goal. He's checked by Jace Lightfoot. A couple of flags thrown in the air. Lots of contact still up for grabs. Just about 5 yards outside of Jace Lightfoot's net, now gathered by Southern Virginia. And the play will be blown dead. Looks like they're going to get JT Coutrier, the Southern Virginia defender, on a hold, as Owen Hamill is trying to cut back towards the middle of the field right in front of Jace Lightfoot. So that'll be a 30-second breather for JT Coutrier. Tereski at the top, looking for McNally. There's an open spot. He scores! Mike McNally, a lethal shot again from that same side. Scores another to extend that lead back to 10, as the Falcons are on the board for the first time in the fourth. I believe that is the first goal for Messiah on the afternoon for the extra man. There's a good win there from Jaden Arnold. Quickly on the attack for Southern Virginia. It goes by his teammate. I think that was Zach Sullivan. Then scooped up now by Messiah. That's Grant Pafal getting a couple of hacks from Tyson Mowry. And now they look to escape harm with James Myers getting past midfield. Mike McNally. Cross field for Will Earhart. This is Nate Liu going below the goal line for McNally. Now it's Earhart. Looking to cut around Lyles. Couple of whacks from Mike Brown. Then he passed that one over the head of Michael Cook out of bounds, and the Knights will grab possession. So more good pressure from Mike Brown. He's been noticeable defensively here in this second half, as they've held so far Messiah to just 5 goals, but back the other way for Michael Cook. He's got McNally in on Lightfoot. He scores. Knights able to force the turnover on that last outing for Messiah, but they quickly turn it back the other way, and a 2-on-1 turns into a breakaway for Mike McNally. And the way he's shooting today makes no mistake. And the lead back to 11 for the Falcons. Mike McNally leading both teams in goals with 7 on the afternoon. Bobby Berg's thrown in 3. And then for Southern Virginia, Clay Hackey right now has 3. This is Bobby Berg again in control. 19 goals now on the year and counting. He's looking towards the middle, might do it himself now. But a good check there of the stick from the Southern Virginia defenders. McNally now scoops it back towards Michael Cook. He was able to pick it up before it goes out of bounds. Owen Hamill back up top for RJ Mallour. He's going to try and cut past Ben Sluga. Now it's Owen Hamill again. And around the ring they go. Just under 6 minutes now remaining in the fourth quarter. Fourth and final frame. Here's Liu of the Falcons. Back up top, Owen Hamill. Nice feed to the far side. There's RJ Mallour. Goes off the stick, I think, of Jace Lightfoot. And they're going to reset the clock on that one. A full 60 for the Falcons. This is McNally. And he's going to score. A tough angle by McNally. But the sniper that he is, he puts it back in there for his 8th on the afternoon to extend the lead to 19-7. McNally is just one of those guys that you really can't give him, 3 or 4 feet even of room. But he's going to make it happen if he's anywhere in the realm of Jace Lightfoot, who's had his hands full all day with guys like Mike McNally and Chad Tereski as well. Of course, 3 goals for Bobby Berg as well. And those are the 3 main scorers for Messiah so far this season. And none of those 3 guys are seniors either, as Jaden Arnold able to pick up this face-off. And then Mike Brown calmly to the far side, but a steal made there from Seth Libby. Jace Lightfoot going outside the goal, and then Michael Cook puts it over top of the crossbar. As Cook ran back towards the line behind the goal. Like Mike Brown went towards the ball, so they'll give Brown the benefit of the doubt. As Wyatt Garrett loses this one. He was pressured again by Seth Libby that time, who first forced that last turnover. Now finally Southern Virginia gets it back in their possession, and Lightfoot's going to go far side. I believe that's JT Cotrier over there. Gets past midfield and back on the attack go the Knights. This is Tyson Mowry being shadowed by Jed Davis. It's getting Clay Hackey and Peyton Merwin back in there for the attack. Up top we go for Wells, then Hackey, and now Merwin. Tristan Lynch guarding him of the Falcons. Just 30 seconds now on the shot clock. But that'll be turned over. Good pressure again. That time it was Tristan Lynch who forces Peyton Merwin out. And back the other way come the Falcons, but a bobble there. And the Knights able to pick it up again right at the midfield line, but then he sends it back towards the Falcons looking for Bobby Berg. And there's a check. It looked like Mike Brown might have made contact with the helmets of Will Earhart. They do get that flag. But still in possession are the Falcons. That's Owen Hamill. Below the goal line now they go for Michael Cook. Bobby Berg switches places with Nate Liu, but it's Owen Hamill again here. Ben Sluga slowly in pursuit of him. Hamill's going to scoop it towards Jace Lightfoot, but it goes past the left post. Out of bounds, but Michael Cook there in time. And with that, we're going to see Mike Brown head off. So full 60 for Messiah. Under 7 minutes now remaining in regulation time. 19-7 the score in favor of the Falcons. This is Tereski. Now Michael Cook looking for a friend. He was pestered by, I think that's JT Cotrier. But now Tereski back in control up top. Look in the middle. There's McNelly. Good ball. Now Tereski going to take a shot at it. He fakes it. Then right in front there. Good save made by Lightfoot. Falcons trying to gather again for a second opportunity. But good strength there from Ben Sluga. But ultimately the Falcons come back out with it. It looks to be Chad Tereski in control. Up top, RJ Malore. Good ball movement on that last trip in front of the goal. This is McNeely back down low for Cook. He's going to bounce that right in front of the goal line. Past Jace Lightfoot, who's able to get out of the way. But Bobby Berg back in control for the Falcons. Tereski was looking in the middle for RJ Malore. Now McNelly's able to pick it up. Almost a turnover there. Now across the field it goes. Nice feed inside for Owen Hamill. And that'll make it 20 on the day for the Falcons. Good ball movement on that extra man opportunity, as it was Mike Brown sitting out that time. Just 5:35 remaining on the game clock. So again, another strong start to that fourth quarter, just as they did in the third for Southern Virginia. But Messiah's been able to counter quite nicely with, again, 4 consecutive goals. And are outscoring the Knights once again in this fourth and final frame. That was Schilleman on the face-off for Southern Virginia. He's going to win that one. Ultimately, it was whistled down. Now Gannon Lyles in control. And now it's Wyatt Garrett. And a timeout called by Southern Virginia. Jason Lamb's going to round up the troops and get something drawn up for an attack that they really need to score here after having a successful first couple of minutes. As previously mentioned, outscoring Messiah 2-0 in the early going of this fourth and final frame, have not able to really muster anything offensively. And they'll try to cut into this lead once again of Messiah. Again, the Falcons out of the MAC Commonwealth. Very difficult conference for men's lacrosse. They fell to Widener in the play-in of the conference tournament last year. Finished their conference season 4-4. And looking to improve on that this season with much of their roster returning from last year. And again, a pretty young team, but also a very experienced team with just a couple of seniors starting all 6 games so far this season. It would be 7 now. And also not to mention the depth they have between the pipes as well. It was Algren who started the first half of this one. Now they put in Brock Rowe, and then now I think it's Josh Grove, who I believe Josh started most of the games last year for Messiah. And the fact that he's still on this roster and getting in the rotation there with Algren and Brock Rowe just speaks to the depth that this team has in goal. Algren, just a freshman, but has handled most of the chores for Messiah on the back end this year. Says Gabe King, trying to get something going. He's the leading scorer for the Knights, but has only been able to get involved in a couple of the scoring plays for Southern Virginia. He's going to be subbed out in favor of River Jackson. Gabe King just 1 assist on the day, no goals yet. But he was subbed out, so they'll look to other guys to make something happen here. That's Clay Hackey looking for his 4th. Just past Josh Grove, who was sprawled out in front of his net. Knights able to get there first, so they'll retain possession, but just 35 seconds on the shot clock. This is Porter Wells spinning. He's being watched by James Myers, looking for a feed to Tyson Mowry, tough to handle. But he'll try to free up some space for himself again. Nice feed for Zach Sullivan. There looks to be a save. No, it went past Grove and the post. So shot clock still running now at 10 seconds. There's a feed again inside, and it's bouncing and loose for River Jackson. And able to grab control of it are the Falcons. So a good couple of opportunities there for the Knights right out in front, but unable to finish. And it turns into a turnover as the Falcons will look to get back on the attack. This is Mike Brown's gonna grab control of it on the whistle. As he tries to take advantage of a couple of substitutions from from Messiah rather. This is Clay Hackey inside looking for Porter Wells, but it goes past everyone. Not sure if it deflected off anyone. It doesn't. But the Knights, either way, will keep control of it. It looked like Ami's going off for a few moments. And Southern Virginia again will have a man-up opportunity where they have fared pretty well, 2 for 5 on the day. .320 and counting on the game clock. Obviously a full 60 for the Knights. This is Clay Hackey across for Gabe King. He mishandles it. He's able to get back there before it goes to midfield. So plenty of time still to make something happen. Gabe King now, Tyson Mowry. There's Porter Wells. Good save made by Josh Grove. He's going to go back behind his net, wait for some teammates to find an opening in that pressure from Southern Virginia. He does. As they safely cross midfield, Jace Lightfoot has to go back towards his goal. But it turns into a fortunate bounce for him. He's able to pick it up and get past a couple of Falcons attackers. Mike Brown looking for it. That bounces off of his stick. And then Jed Davis. And now it's Seth Libby in control for Messiah. That's Chris Esslinger getting upended. Mike Brown as well as Gannon Lyles in the vicinity making contact. Now it's Bobby Berg. Michael Cook has a goal to his name today. Seth Libby will find Nate Liu as they are in no rush with just under 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Just under 40 seconds on the shot clock now. Liu being pressured by Wyatt Garrett, who looked to force a turnover. He does. A full 80. Game clock almost meeting the shot clock now. Just a minute 22 left on the board. Here's a rush right towards Josh Grove, and it just over the goal. And it went past everything, so no reset in the shot clock, but it doesn't matter too much. It's just a minute 10 remain on the clock in regulation. Nice feed inside and a save. Not sure how it didn't go in for Zach Sullivan. As it remains in possession of the Knights. Looking for one final attempt on Josh Grove. Correction, that's Sam Leitner in there. In between the pipes for Messiah. As there's a turnover by Southern Virginia and Tyson Mowry. There's pressure being applied by Peyton Merlin, able to get it safely onto the other side of midfield, looking for one final stand. There's a goal! Scored by number 31, Slater Smith. The sophomore out of Powhatan, Virginia. He puts it by Jace Lightfoot for perhaps the final time. With just 30 seconds remaining on the clock in regulation, it is now 21-7 in favor of the Falcons. So Slater Smith able to put an exclamation point on this victory for the Falcons this afternoon. Their first trip down to Buena Vista to face the Knights. And they're just their second all-time meeting. There's a nice face-off win from Jaden Arnold. He's going to go straight down the gut, look for a goal of himself, and he scores. Jaden Arnold. Look to do it himself, and he does. And he gets one right back, and now the score 21-8. The Knights able to get their third goal of the frame. Again, Messiah looking to go to 5-2 as they've made their way through their non-conference schedule before they begin MAC Commonwealth play. There's another face-off win for Jaden Arnold. Lots of pressure being applied by the Falcons before they can cross midfield. But there's a good pass for JT Couture, and he scores too. JT Couture. Back-to-back goals for Southern Virginia, just 18 seconds to play. And the Knights now have 9 on the board. And in a game where, for the most part, Messiah was in control of most statistical categories, that is one thing the Knights have performed better in, is face-offs. As I believe that's their 20th win compared to Messiah's 12. Just 10 seconds now on the clock. It seems like the Knights might be content to let it roll down, but now Jace Lightfoot trying to make something happen himself. Just a second now, and that'll do it for regulation time. The Falcons come into Buena Vista and defeat Southern Virginia 21-9 to improve to 5-2 on the year, as they have rolled pretty nicely through their non-conference schedule. Knights will fall to 1-6 before they start USA South Conference play against Piedmont. Highlighted performance would be Mike McNally. He was pretty lethal in that same spot, able to score on the extra man for Messiah, but had 7 other tallies on the day to put his total to 8, as he is one of the leading scorers for this Falcons squad, and made no mistake about it today to lead the Falcons to victory. On Southern Virginia's side, Clay Hackey led the team with 3 goals, and then JT Couture right at the end there got his second. They led the Knights in scoring. And Jace Lightfoot, despite the very difficult matchup against these lethal attackers of Messiah, was able to put together a pretty solid day with several key saves down early in the game to keep the Knights within striking distance. But with this, the Knights will look forward to their first conference matchup of the season. On Saturday, they'll travel to Demorest, Georgia to face off against the Piedmont University Lions. And that'll be the first game of a 2-game road trip in Georgia. They'll play Berry College, again a non-conference matchup, just 3 days later on Tuesday, before coming back home to host Brevard College for their second opponent in the USA South Conference schedule. But we thank you all for joining us for this edition of Knights Broadcasting. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let us know how we're doing, how we can improve your viewing experience. And we remind you that we do have a women's lacrosse matchup here at Knights Stadium on Knights Broadcasting at 7 p.m., so be sure to tune in for that. But until then, we wish you a pleasant afternoon and evening, and go Knights.